So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new series here on KRSchannel. And yes, we're going to begin with Mars in the first house for Aries ascendant people. As in, what happens when Mars is in the first house in Aries. And if you don't know if you have this particular Mars, what sign it's in, what nakshatra it's in, along with all your astrological details. For that, check out the links here. Check out my full astrological report, including my books, consultations, the link to my academy, Vedic Astrology Academy, where I am uploading all kinds of uncensored videos, including a brand new article on Navamsha coming. It's going to be like no other. I'm working on it. I just finished writing the 23rd page of my article, and I'm like, oh, I gotta make a video today of the new series. So yes, I'm here filming it for you. So anyway, Mars in the first house in Aries. Well, the first thing you will see is that this person will be very much prone to injuries. Cuts, bruises, burns, especially, if it's in the fire sign. This is also an individual who will always, you can bring anything in front of this individual. Okay? And it doesn't matter if it's a chart of a male or female. Doesn't matter. This person will always look at their spouse as their opponent. Like trying to outdo. Always. Why? Think about it. Use the logic, the most basic of one-on-one logic. Mars is what? On the most basic of level. Mars is a soldier and a fighter, right? What is seventh house? If you have studied about the seventh house, it's marriage, partnership, business. But seventh house also represents opponents. So when you put a soldier, okay, their first reaction to the person in front of them is that this is my opponent. I am supposed to fight them. I am supposed to dominate them. They cannot overtake me. So it doesn't matter how right or wrong the spouse is. They're going to always desire to dominate in their relationships, partnerships, marriage. And yes, with Aries, the first initiating sign of birth. Aries is that first fire that just came about. So what it shows is that this person becomes very strongly lustful. Strong desire for, having that sexual or bodily satisfaction. Like, of course, we're looking at sexual, passion here, sexual interaction, but pleasures of the body. And this is something I have actually seen, and when and especially asked with people when I was doing my readings, especially like the nakshatra readings. Mars in the ascendant. Such people love going to getting a massage. They love going for massages. They want that pleasure of the body. They want that touch on the body. And especially if Mars, and remember what I'm saying here is Mars not being afflicted or affiliated with any planet. Because that will change the entire dynamic of the situation. Because then they'll create a yoga of some kind. Whether it's Saturn aspecting or conjunct Mars, Sun is aspecting conjunct Mars, Venus is aspecting conjunct Mars. It's going to change all that. I'm simply talking about Mars itself. And with your, intelligence now, if you're following me literally for a decade now, you can start applying those chemical reactions of other planets. But here with Mars, you will get an individual who has a quite childlike personality. Like they want to rush into proving themselves, not rushing to doing something. Like we'd say, oh, this person's a go-getter. That may not be true with Mars, because Mars may need support of other planets for that. Here, Mars is wanting to prove itself more than anybody else. So if, let's say, a Mars in the ascendant person has a sibling, whenever the mother or the father praises a sibling, they suddenly will rush to doing something where they can now get that, praised by them. Like, hey, I did something too. Praise me as well. If that wasn't there, no, that notion wouldn't be there, that I have to prove something now to you. Only when there's that opponent that comes in, there's that rush. So one thing you will see with Mars in Aries, that people will find success when they have rivals, enemies, and competition in their life. Otherwise, they fail. You need to have a competition. So if you are a Mars in Aries, obviously you're not going to run away from competition. You're not going to run away from rivals. But if there's some conjunction, yeah, you may. In that case, don't run. Mars is only going to give you success when you go into the lion's den. Like some people, and I've noticed this with myself too, whenever I'm backed to the wall, or anybody in this placement is back to the wall, they suddenly will be able to come up with ideas and come up with things to kind of push things forward. There are many people, some people, when they're backed into the wall, they will simmer in. But this is an individual that only when they're backed into the wall, like when a cat is backed into the wall, it'll fight. It will rupture your face. So these are the situations when once they go in, they're like, oh my God, why didn't I think of this? Boom, okay, I'm going to go for this now. Now I'm going to get you. And from that notion of getting to you, that's where they find their victory. You will also see with this Mars, they're natural pranksters. Very, like I said, childlike, like a teenager brat, wanting to pull pranks on people. Also, you will see with this Mars, they will always have fights at the dining table. They will always have fights with the dining table, especially with the mother, because mother will tell them to eat this, and they will say, no, I want to eat this. Mother will say, eat your vegetable. They'll be, no, I want to eat my steak, or I want to eat my paneer, and I want to eat my meat. That's the only thing I want to eat, or I want to eat my cheese. There will be conflicts in that. And because of their immature, or I would say childlike enthusiasm of life, it will create very awkward fights with the in-laws, awkward fights within the marriage. Because, like, for example, if Mars and Aries person is married, right? The wife or the husband is going to expect them to have some sort of like responsibilities, within the marriage. They're gonna like, hey, we are mature now. We're in our late 20s and 30s or 40s. And here this person at 40s wanting to collect comics, wanting to collect like baseball cards. They want to spend their money on that instead of spending money on the bill. And this is where they will get into those issues and fights. And yes, this person will be very athletic, very strongly built, but like they naturally have a very strong structure which can withstand all these bumps and bruises, injuries to the heads, injuries to the arm. When an Aries person, whether in their child, adolescence, young adult, whenever they will do some kind of physical activity, they will get injured. But there'll be those people, they will not cry about it. Oh, I got an injury here. Oh my God. And oh my God, my nail is broken. They're not going to be that. They're going to be like, yeah, okay. Yeah, I know. Okay, fine. Yeah, I got injury. All right, let me just heal from it and then I'll come back to the field. That's the attitude they have. Okay. So anyway, guys, this is my analysis of Mars in the first house in the sign of Aries for Aries ascendant people. And if you're new to my channel, subscribe below so you don't miss these type of videos like Mars in the second house coming up. And if you want to know where your Mars is placed, all your astrological details, my books, consultations, everything else, check out the links here. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.